Hey guys, welcome to Heat, Happy Energy, Amor Tarot. So today we are going to understand the process behind a reconnection here. What's really happening in this person's uh, mind about reconnection, what they're avoiding, what builds inside them, and when it reaches a point where they can no longer stay silent. So let's see how it unfolds step by step. We have 10 of Pentacles. See the true nature of this connection? Um, this is not a casual energy. See, this card sets the foundation of everything here. 10 of Pentacles is where this is not we met, we felt something, and it faded away. This is rooted connection energy. This is the kind of bond where you see long-term potential. You see something that can build over time. You build this connection. You share lives together. This is energetic and emotional investment somewhere. Feels like something that would grow into stability. For them, whether they admit it or not, this connection represents something secure, meaningful, and lasting. And that's exactly why it's not easy to walk away. Even if there's silence here, even if there's distance, the connection doesn't disappear, internally. It stays in their system here. So this is not a fleeting connection. This is something that left a mark here. We have temperance. What is happening with timing right now is intentional delay. Temperance is where you kind of take your time, you think, you contemplate, you want to balance things out. This is not a rushed energy. It's an intentional delay. This is not rejection. This is not nothing happening. This is processing energy here. See, things are being balanced internally, emotional versus logic, desire versus fear, or action versus hesitation. They're trying to understand how to approach this without rushing into something they are not ready to sustain. So, from your perspective, it may feel like, why is nothing moving? And from their side, it's, I need to get this right before I move. So, this isn't stuck, it's slow because it matters. Now, if this is resonating, do subscribe to the channel. We have Five of Swords. See, um, Five of Swords is avoidance, it's ego clashes, discomfort. So, what they're avoiding, facing here is difficult conversations, emotional accountability. This is admitting where they may have been wrong, even though, I mean, if you look at this card, he's holding on to his head. Somewhere, something is telling him he has done something really wrong. But, well, ego. So they're avoiding what this connection demands from them. I think that's the most important part here. Because this is not a light connection, this requires maturity. Because Ten of Pentacles is, when you've built something, this means something. And right now, part of them would rather step back than step up. So there's also internal conflict here. They're not fully at peace with how things have been handled. But instead of resolving, they are withdrawing. They're not unaware, they're uncomfortable here. Now, Eight of Wands. See, this is where the energy begins to move. Things start to shift. This is a fast internal momentum. If you see all of these wands, rushing towards one direction, even if externally nothing is happening, internally everything is, it's starting to accelerate here. Thoughts about you increase, emotions will become stronger, distractions stop working. This is the stage where silence becomes loud, where they start feeling, I can't just leave this like the way it is. See, this card doesn't always mean immediate action, but it does mean unstoppable in internal movement here. So what they try to ignore, it starts chasing them. So whatever they were avoiding, that kind of haunts them in some way or the other. Now we have Nine of Cups. See, at the core, you're someone they emotionally enjoy and value. This is like a wish fulfillment, desires being, getting fulfilled kind of an energy. So you bring a sense of comfort. This feels right, and that emotional ease. But this card also is about contained emotion. They feel deeply, but maybe they've been sitting in those feelings instead of acting on them. So there's a gap between what they feel and what they do here. See, they don't lack feelings, they lack the follow through that needs to happen in this connection. We have Knight of Swords. See, Knight of Swords is no longer slow pressure building. This is like a snap moment. This is where, Knight of Swords is fast. It's like rushing into something impulsive, like um, mentally driven action. In this moment, uh, where overthinking, it flips into I need to do something and I need to do something right now. So, what triggers this is not calm reflection, it's a sense of urgency. Something clicks in their mind, a realization, a thought, a shift in perception, and suddenly staying silent feels worse than speaking. This is not emotional softening, this is mental clarity hitting fast and hard here. So they move from avoidance to action in a very short span. This happens maybe around 2 to 4 weeks from now. Much faster than before is what I see, because this is not gradual, it's very decisive energy. They don't show, uh, like, they don't realize slowly the reflection energy. This is where they suddenly act out of impulse. We have Eight of Pentacles. See, even though realization is fast, the way they approach is not careless. The Eight of Pentacles shows that once that switch flips, they don't just blurt something out and disappear. This is consistency. This is when they start thinking, how do I say this properly? How do I fix what I didn't handle well? How do I show consistency this time? So this is effort. This is someone trying to do it right instead of just trying to do it fast. And action follows shortly after that breaking point. Around 3 to 6 weeks is what I'm seeing here. So the realization is quick, the action execution has a thought behind it. They move fast internally, but show up carefully externally. And my left eye is twitching, so maybe that's a sign. Now we have Five of Cups. See, even with fast realization, uh, reconnection still comes through emotional weight. Five of Cups says they don't reach out just because they can. They reach out because they feel the loss. They miss you. They sense um, this emptiness inside of them. Because something hits them like, I didn't fully value this, I might actually lose this. Because so far they've been feeling that, oh, I can go back, I can just have this person back. That emotional realization grounds in this action. This is why the connection, it kind of makes the connection meaningful, not impulsive this time. See, timeline for a reconnection I see is 4 to 8 weeks from now. Faster than before, but it still requires that emotional realization to settle in. See, they don't come back just because they can. They come back because they feel what's missing is what this energy is talking about. And here's what this reading is truly showing you, that this delay is not about lack of feeling, it is lack of courage on their side. Because, life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. So, right now, they are moving at the pace of what they are ready to face, not the depth of what they feel. That is where the lack of courage plays a role here. But your power here is not, waiting for that shift to happen. It's in how you choose to hold this moment. You don't have to pretend everything is perfect to feel at peace. See, there will be moments when things feel incomplete, when connections feel unclear, when you question what is this becoming. And instead of forcing perfection, there's another way to see this. Not everything that's cracked is broken. Sometimes those cracks are where stories live, where something is still forming, still becoming real. So, see, not everything unfinished is broken. Some things are still becoming. And that's where That's the perspective that gives you power here. I hope this gave you some clarity. Thank you for watching.